Morning, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Westies Angling. You're back with me today for another fishery review video, and the fishery that we're going to be reviewing is High Hayes. Now this is a fishery that me and my dad fish often. My dad's not with me today because he's not very well, so I've come here on my own and we're going to do the review. I wanted to reserve this fishery review video to the winter months because it is a fishery that we fish often, and because we do fish it often, it's a fishery that I know well, so I'm confident in giving you a good review on this fishery even though it's winter and the bites have slowed down quite a lot. So the way I'm going to be fishing today, and I'm not going to fish the usual lake that I fish, which is the third lake. There's three lakes at High Hayes. There's the first one as you come in, which I'm going to be fishing today, which is meant to be the specimen lake, which I believe there's carp up to 25 pounds in here. Whether you want to believe that or not is up to you, but I would say that they definitely go to late doubles, and they probably do creep into the 20s here. Without catching one and weighing it yourself, you never fully believe it. You don't know who's been here catching them and weighing them, or whether they've been caught in matches and weighed accurately, or whether somebody's caught one and weighed it with the kitchen scales. You just don't know, do you? So it's hard to know when to trust these kind of weights in coarse fisheries. But if we say that carp in here go to very late doubles and early 20s, there's some very nice F1s in here as well, which go easily up to £5, which is cracking for an F1. This first lake, as you come in, has got tension, it's got bream. There's eyed in all three lakes at High Hayes. There's not many rudd or roach, so that's the main silverfish, eyed and bream. The bream do get fairly big as well, so if you're after bream during the winter, it's a good place to come. It's very tough fishing for the carp year round. There's some great barbel in the third lake, which is our favourite lake. Now if you want to see a video of me fishing that lake, I'll put one up in the top right hand corner now, when it was a little bit warmer and we had a good session. The way I'm going to be fishing it today is float and method feeder. So I've got a method feeder set up behind me, and I've got my float rod here that I need to plumb the depth, and I'm going to be fishing to this tree. The price is at High Hayes, £7 for one rod and £8 for two. I'll put a list of the rules up, and these are the rules for the fishery. I'm already partly set up. I've actually forgot the head strap for my GoPro, so I won't be using my GoPro today. You're going to be getting this view, and if we catch anything, obviously I'll show you. But I'm just going to be here fishing under this tree on the float, and I've got some ground bait that I had frozen, a small amount that I'm just going to use on the method feeder, and I'm going to be fishing the method feeder further out towards the middle, where hopefully it's a little bit deeper. I don't quite know the depths in this lake, but I know that at this particular fishery during winter, if you wanted to come and fish here, the carp tend to hug the middle of the lake. They're normally up in the water, so if you wanted to use some kind of zig rig or popped up bread flake or something like that, that's probably going to be an effective method. But I'm going to be targeting eyed today. I'm going to be targeting big perch, because there is some stonking perch in High Hayes. I've seen one caught in Lake 3, which is the far one. I'll show you each lake individually. The middle lake is the coarse lake, and Lake 3 is at the far end. That used to be two individual lakes, but they've made it into one. Okay, so we're going to class it as having three lakes, although it did used to be four. So like I said, if you want to catch here, probably the best time of year to come is spring. The tench really switch on about March time, early March, and they feed ferociously. Like I've had tench, probably 15-20 tench in a day in the third lake. Barb will come on in summer, and the barb will go to at least £6, so there's some decent barbelling, so it can be a great day's fishing. So without further ado, we're going to crack on with the fishing. I'm going to continue the setup. I've got most of it set up. I'm going to be feeding dead frozen maggots today. I haven't managed to be able to get out to the tackle shop and buy some maggots, and I've also got worm. So we're going to try under this tree for an eyed and for worm, and we'll just see what we catch. Hopefully we pick up a couple of bream or a carp on the method feeder at some point during the day, so listen out for the bite alarm. It does say on the website that you're not allowed to use bite alarms, but the owner doesn't mind. I think those rules have changed. I will put the address for High Hayes in the description. I know a few of you have been asking for that and asking me to do a fishery review here. I will be continuing to do fishery reviews every week now through into spring and then into summer as well. I'm going to be doing a different place every single week for you, so that's something to look forward to. Stick around on the channel, and hopefully we catch some good fish this year in 2023. So let's get on with it. Right folks, so I've just got some ground bait here that I've had in the freezer. So I've unthawed that out in the car overnight, and it might just need a touch more water adding to it. It tends to dry it out a bit when you freeze it. So I'll just put it in my bucket. Yeah, it just needs a little bit of water, I think, this. Right, let's dampen it down a little bit. So we don't need much, just a tiny bit. Yeah, that'll do. Mix that through. And this will be perfect on the method feeder. Right, let me just quickly talk you through the method. So, got banjo feeder there with an 8mm wafter. That's for the bream and the carp. And that's going to be getting bombed out towards the middle. There's an aerator there, so that'll be nice to fish to. Or maybe just to the right of it. I have seen some fish topping, so it's a great sign. Weather's not great, it's a little bit drizzly, but we can cope with that. Camera's under the brolly there, so it doesn't get soaking wet. I've already got a method feeder link on the method feeder. If you do want to know how to tie a method feeder hook link, I'll put a link for that video in the top right hand corner as well for you. Anything that I think that might be of interest to you, I will pop it in the top right hand corner and you can have a nosy at those videos. Plenty of videos on the channel. So yeah, I'm going to be using the unthawed ground bait, which is just a sweet F1 ground bait. I like sweet ground baits in winter, and just with a handful of pellets mixed in, not many at all, just to keep them in the swim if any do manage to venture in there. This rain's picking up, I better get set up. I've got a float on my float rod. I just need to tie a hook link up and then plumb the depth and shot the float right down, because the bites are going to be tentative at this time of year. Rod pod set up there. Obviously I'm having only one rod out on that. Method feeder's loaded up there, guys, ready to go. Like I said, I would show you, but I forgot my head cam. Okay. I'm just going to bomb this out towards the middle and the aerator. Be careful of these trees behind me. So that's on the bait runner. I'm just going to be sitting that there and forgetting about it. The owner's looks like he's doing some work on the lake today down the bottom there, but I'm probably fishing with the method feeder just to the right of that buoy there. So hopefully we pick up a bream or maybe one of these big F1s on that, and we'll see what we manage to catch under this tree here. So for a hook link material, I'm using £5 Guru N-gauge on the float rod. Don't want anything too heavy at this time of year. I'm just going to have to be very, very careful underneath this tree, as I am fishing right under it. Like I say, we're already fishing, the method feeder's out. So hopefully we get rudely interrupted by the bite alarm going off. The reason that I'm fishing floats as well is bites are probably going to be slow at this time of year, unless you're having a very good day. So the float rod will just keep me busy and keep me entertained, and we'll be able to target different species as well, like the eyed that I've mentioned. I'm going to have about a 3-foot hook length there with £5. I'm just going to tie a figure of 8 loop knot on the end of that hook link so I can loop it to my main line. A few of you have asked me why I don't like to fish pole. It's just not a method that I've ever really been interested in using. I quite like using the rod and reel. It does help to have a baiting needle when you're tying a figure of 8 loop knot. tree already. Look, not a good sign, is it? This is a self-weighted float, so we aren't going to need many shots on. I know that High Hayes is about 4 foot deep in the margins. They are quite deep lakes. Bit of a tweak then. That's why it can be quite a good winter fishery. So I'm fishing Lake 1 today because I always fish Lake 3 and you're all probably getting bored of me fishing the same place. So I'm going to try the other lake. I'm not as confident on this lake, but hopefully we still manage a couple for you. I'll show you how tight this spot is that I'm fishing in. So I'm fishing underneath all these overhanging branches here. So if I get a strike, I'm going to have to strike up into the fish and then try and swing it this way, then lift my rod up and net it. So it's going to be a little bit dodgy, but the fish are going to be underneath that tree, there's no doubt about it. There's a big root system underneath there, and they're definitely going to be sticking to that, I would have thought. Okie dokie, let's get going. I'm going to start off on dead maggots because that's what I've been feeding, and then I'm going to try worm. If we've not had anything on the method feeder in about half an hour, I'll recast that. So I'll recast the method feeder every 40 minutes or so, 40 minutes to an hour. So we might only get, I don't know, seven casts today on the method feeder, but hopefully we pick up a fish. Fingers crossed. If it does, it's worth it for that extra quid, isn't it? So as you can see, my float's shotted down in the water there. Obviously there's no bait on it, but it's very finely shotted, so any kind of bite from a fish is just going to rip it straight under. I'll get a really good indication with that. Now I am sitting quite far away from the camera, so I hope the audio is going to be okay today. I'm sorry if it's a little bit quiet, but I'll try and speak up. There's nobody else fishing on the lakes today, any of them. It's just me out today fishing here. It's also still early morning, so that's why it's a little bit dark on the camera. I do think there's fish feeding in this swim. I've seen a couple of bubbles, which is quite rare at this time of year. Right, let's get on it. Let's see if we can catch anything. We'll start with 3 dead maggot. Been in the freezer about 2 months, these. They're not looking very good. Sure the fish will still eat them. And my worms aren't dead, but they're definitely on the way out. So I'm just shipping it in. And pulling back. Take the line a touch. Straight away then. On the drop. We've got a fish on the method feeder. Oh, maybe not. Back out. So I've not got a mould with me for this method feeder. There's cheap eBay banjo feeders, work out about £1.50 each. Again, I'll put a link to them in the description. I like to save you a few quid where I can. work perfectly. We've just got to hand mould it. There you go. Right, I'm going to get that back out now. Ooh, huge plume of bubbles just come up then. I wonder if there's a carp feeding on these maggots. Could even put maggot on the method feeder and fish it under this tree. Might do that at some point. Well guys, I'm not having a good day today. I've just dropped my camera and the LCD screen snapped on it. So I can't even see whether I'm recording right now. I tried to get it in shot from the viewfinder, so hopefully it's alright, but that's going to be an expensive fix. But I guess that's the issue when you're out filming, doing these videos like now. The tripod literally just slipped on the mud and fell over, so not really much I can do about that. I'll just crack on with it. We'll have a few more hours fishing. I'm not going to fish float anymore though. I've got my method feeder, my other method feeder rod set up. I'm going to put that under the tree here. I'm just going to put 3 dead maggots on it and see what we pick up on that. And I'll move this rod over to the other side. I've realised that I've forgotten my banding tool as well, so I can't even band the worms onto my method feeder rig. Today's not going well. Very costly fishing trip this. Well guys, the disaster continues. Just had a really nice crucian carp, and because I can't see the LCD screen, I can't see whether I'm recording or not. I thought I was recording it, and it's about that big, lovely crucian, out towards the middle. So good that the camera wasn't rolling then. But you'll have to take my word for it. Lovely crucian carp, unexpected. I've not had a crucian here before. So, yeah, fingers crossed we get another and I'm able to actually film it for you. It was just one of them days today where nothing's going right. Ah, dear me. Probably tells me that big expensive cameras like this Panasonic Lumix that I'm using now, great filming quality but not practical for the type of filming for YouTube that I'm doing, like fishing. There's just too much crap and bad weather involved in it, so I think I might have to rethink. Look at that, absolutely snapped, and it's just not turning back on. Oh dear. Well, these things happen, don't they? Especially when you're a clumsy like me. I think I put it on my house insurance to be covered away from home, so fingers crossed I might be able to claim on that. So might not be as bad as it could have been, but we'll see. Got a fish on under this tree. Brew. Again, I'm not sure if I'm recording, but hopefully I am. There we go, guys, nice slab of a bream. So we've had 5 little eyed, crucian and a bream so far. I'm not going to be staying a full day. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit demoralised after breaking my camera. It is going to be an expensive fix. So going back to the fishery review videos, if I was going to rate High Hayes out of 10, I would give it a solid 7. You've got a good choice of lakes, plenty of different species to target, good perch, good F1s, some really nice eyed if you want to fish on the pole. You'll always catch in winter fishing for the eyed with maggots. There are some nice carp in all of the lakes. They'll probably go to at least mid doubles in every single one of the lakes. They're very difficult to catch unless you're fishing for the carp in summer because of how deep the water is. They tend to switch on a little bit later in the year, and there's probably not as many carp packed into the lakes as you get with some of the other coast fisheries that are predominantly carp. But what that means is it allows the other species to get a little bit bigger and get to the feed, like the bream, like the eyed, and because of the good stock of eyed, like I said before, the perch get big. So it's all about balance with these fisheries, and High Hayes brings something a little bit different than your normal carp coast fishery. That's the rating that I'm going to give it. For the next few videos that I do, it's going to be filmed solely on the GoPro because I'm going to have to send this big camera off. So we'll have to deal with that on the head cam. Other things that are good about High Hayes, you've got great bathroom facilities. So you've got, we'll just cast this one out as well. Got a fish on? Or has it come off? Might have been a bream that, and it might have detached itself. I'll leave it a minute. But yeah, as I was saying, so it's got great toilet facilities which are in the main block and the pay station there. Massive car park. There's a few pegs that are disabled access, and you could probably manage if you struggle to get much further than your car. So that'd be ideal for you. But other than that, it's got good walkways all the way around, so you're not getting slutched up. So you access it with a turn off the main road in Eccleston, and you go up a dirt track, and there's 2 fisheries next to each other. For High Hayes, which was otherwise known as the Catteries, you turn left. If any of you were wondering if it's the same fishery, it is. This used to be known as the Catteries, but now it's called High Hayes. The right turn takes you to another fishery. The place can get quite busy in summer, but in the spring, autumn and winter months it tends to be quite quiet. And with there having a decent choice of lakes, you can usually find yourself a secluded corner where there's no other anglers, if that's what you like. Told you there's some nice F1s in here, look at that. that F1, guys. Proper one that. They get a lot bigger than that in here as well. You get at least two, maybe 3 times the size of that. But let's get it back. That was under the tree, right in the margin. Me and my dad have fished all 3 of the lakes here at High Hayes, and we've had good fish out of all 3 of them. So the far lake, which is the 3rd lake, which is furthest away from the car park as you come in, can be very good for margin barbel, and you can definitely bag up on bream and tench. If you walk all the way down to the causeway and fish the 2 aerators, you tend to hug those and you'll pick up the odd barbel next to the aerators as well. But that's not at this time of year. At this time of year, the fish here tend to hug the middle of the lakes. They're not much deeper in the middle, these lakes, but they are slightly bowled, so it isn't marginally deeper down the middle. And with less angling pressure, a bit of a tug on them or a liner, so that might go off soon. With less angling pressure, that's where the carp tend to sit during the colder months, right down the middle of the lakes. They can be at various depths. I've had a look at it on the deeper, so they just tend to hug that middle and they just cruise and patrol up and down it. So if you're fishing method feeders and you cast to the middle and you leave them long enough, chances are that you can pick up one of these big F1s or a carp. So that's a good tactic to use. Just like I started off with today though, if you want to have one method feeder out and use a float or pole in the margin, that'd be the ideal scenario. Obviously I've swapped to these 2 because I broke my camera. So you can get everything in the shot here, and I've just set it to manual focus, and I've just looked through the viewfinder and I should be in the shot, but I can't see it, so I'm not sure. Not a bad day so far though for winter. I'm gutted I wasn't recording that crucian for you, because that was a really nice fish. Good sized crucian on the pink wafter. There's nothing that bait doesn't catch, is there? And again under the tree. It's like a nice hide. That's a really nice hide. In fact, this might even be a roach. There's orange tinges to its eyes. Now the difference between an hide and a roach is obviously the hides have got black eyes, but there is an orange tinge there, so you tell me guys, what's that? Is that a roach or is that an hide? Probably can't see from there. Let's try and focus in through the back viewfinder. What is it guys? Is it an hide or is it a roach that? It's a chunky one. Lovely fish. Right, I'm going to get it back. Not turning into a bad day at all today. Multi-species. So I've just recast that out. I've put some more dead maggots down under that tree, and I'm literally just lowering the method feeder over the top of them. I'm not going to do a full day session today, but at least we've had some nice fish. Definitely can't complain for a short session at this time of year. I'm literally the only person that's fishing all 3 lakes today. 2 fellas have just turned up and they were having a look around all the lakes, and they were asking me where's good round here and which pegs. I said, are you on YouTube? He said, yeah. I said, well, just have a look and just have a look at my channel, and you know, it tells you where to fish on there and around this area if you're local. He said, yeah, we're local. He said, I thought I recognised you. I was watching a video on Limbrick Fishery and I thought I recognised you. You go fishing with your dad, don't you? Yeah. So he had watched my videos, not subscribed though, but I'm sure they will now. But yeah, I've just told them where's best and stuff around here. They said they've been having a look at Harry's fishery, and like some of you guys have said, they're having trouble finding it and actually getting there. So I've just explained how to get in and where to go. So, but yeah, it's nice meeting you guys on the bank. Even people that have obviously watched the videos but not necessarily subscribed to the channel. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, now's your chance to do so. So if you do see me on the bank, you can come and say hello. But it's good that my videos are getting that kind of exposure that, you know, these two fellas have been on. They've had a look at the different fisheries around here and they've sent our videos, which is absolutely awesome. Just shows you that they're worth doing. And they were like, yeah, you were fishing that corner peg, weren't you? So, you know, and you do pick up the good places to fish, because we fish them quite regular. So we know the good places, and I'm more than happy to tell you guys, you know, where the best pegs are and things like that. As long as you move if I want to come fishing. No, I'm only joking. But yeah, nice to meet them, and hopefully they see this video. Okay folks, so I'm going to get packed up and get the rods away and call it a day there. Looks like there's a big weather front moving in, and I want to get out of here before that comes in. I know the filming's probably not been as good today as it normally is, but there's not much I can do about that broken camera. So hopefully I manage to get that fixed over the next couple of weeks. So thank you for watching this fishery review, and I'll see you in the next Westies Angling.